So I'd like to welcome our customer support manager, Alex Schreiner. Alex has been with Leap for about 3 years now, and he's worked with a lot of contractors really closely, particularly since COVID-19 hit, and helping them to pivot based on the current environment and expand their offerings digitally. So I'd like to welcome Alex the to the table.
Hello, yes. So yeah, I've been here about coming up on 3 years in January. Actually started off doing the onboarding training, when we only had probably 8 employees, and now we're at 50 or something close to that. And now I moved into the support role. So after after the company gets trained up, we do have a dedicated support team that can assist you with changes moving forward. And like Kelly was saying, in the past 9 months, we've really seen how Leap has become kind of the go-to tool for contractors. And we've seen a huge increase, as you can see on the graph here, in activity. We've even had, a lot of companies calling in just maybe their account is 99% set up, but they just, need to make it over the finish line. And they've really been, heavily getting involved to try to get that to go. But again, the increase in sales and just a lot of remote activity, which is great to see. So today I'll be sort of sharing some of those, my experience and findings with that. So professional contracts. So, like it says on the slide here, you want to put yourself in the customer's shoes. Home improvement and remodeling jobs are expensive. So how do you create trust with customers? How do you instill confidence? As an example, if you went to like a cashier at a retail store and they didn't know the price of something, you may not necessarily trust the number they give you. But if they scan the barcode on the item and the computer gives you a number, you know that that price is correct. So that's the same thing as what Leap does is, you're plugging in your measurements to the application. It gives you a number back. It looks professional, and the customer, trusts that system overall. And another point here is the fact that Leap can require information and restrict information. So, by requiring information, the sales rep can't miss anything. They can't miss measurements or colors, dimensions, various things like that. And restricting information means that we can have a set list of those sizes and colors. That way you cannot order something that's incorrect. And we'll show you that in a moment. I'm going to do a quick demonstration after the next slide. So combining everything into one place. So one thing that's really great about Leap is that you can include the aerial measurements, whether you're using Eagle View or Hover. Even in the next update we have coming out, we'll be releasing scope technologies. That can be sent back to your CRM. You can include project photos, sketches, all of your documents, your notice of cancellation, your terms and conditions, all of those things. As Fareeth mentioned, there's 5 different CRMs, MarketSharp, Lead Perfection, Salesforce, and i360, and Job Nimbus. All of that, seamlessly goes back to the CRM all in one file. So it's very, very convenient to see that information. And if you want, Kelly, I can share my screen real quick and demonstrate that.
Yep, you should be able to share your screen now.
Yep. All right, can you see this?
Yes, that's perfect.
All right, so I already added a customer here. And again, for those of you that, if you aren't using Leap, when you select a customer, that would come straight from your CRM. I've already got one in here. And then we would start the estimate process, right? So I could tap into roofing here. And I've already pulled in measurements, but what you would do is select one of the 3 measurement tools we integrate with. and you could search the address or do a blind search and pull in your measurements. Let's run it again. And you see that pulls those in here. And then you could add a one-off item if you needed to that, Hover and Eagle View wouldn't obviously know, such as a skylight. We'll hit done. You would select your package here. And then you can see on the left here, we've got contracts, proposals, tech measure sheet, surveys. So all sorts of documents, and all of that data from your estimate will pull into those documents. You can even go into resources as well and view those, reports. So if I wanted to take a look at the Hover report, I could, and the various measurements. So again, it's all in one place, and this all syncs back to the CRM. That's the important thing to remember. But we'll go to contracts here, and you can pick as many of these templates as you want and combine them into one. So we would, if you wanted to include the Hover report, you could. We'll select our roofing template, our payment details, our terms and conditions, and photos here. And this is another area where you can, as we talked about restricted information, for instance, look at shingle color here. So we have a set list of colors. So that say, one gets discontinued or you need to change the colors on something, you could instantly do that on the back end. And that way your sales reps are always working with the current information. And that's what, really sets us aside and makes you look professional. Down here, again, we could, the Hover photos are getting included automatically. You can configure that if you'd like to do that. You can also include a sketch. We have a relatively new sketch tool, which has grids, and you're able to lock on lines like this and make it really nice looking and professional for the customer. Moving on, we have our payment page. And then we have a photos tab. And I've already just added a couple of photos here, but you could take photos of the house or select them from your camera roll pretty easily. And then we hit next. And you get a really clean, legible contract, which everyone can read. It's got all the restrictions in place to make sure you're including all the pertinent information. So here's our scope of work. Here's the sketch, any kind of acknowledgements you need, payment page, our terms and conditions, and then any photos. So here are the Hover ones that pulled in automatically. It just looks, incredibly professional compared to a paper contract. And then the optional photos we sort of added at the end. And then when we go tap this and go to hit sign, one of the great features that we have is this DocuSign button here. If you tap that here at the top right of the signature pad, you can actually send this document to the homeowner without, completely remotely. You could send it from the office. And again, so this whole document, all of the Hover information, that the entire measurement report would upload to your CRM. If you did choose to fill out a proposal or a work order, a purchase order, stuff like that, that would all go back as well. So just a quick demo to show you how that goes. We can go back to the presentation now, Kelly.
Okie doke. All right, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep. So automatic updates, right? Again, so everything results back to the CRM. Not only the contracts, but when you go to result an appointment, which you can see here in this animation, those values, the dispositions as we call them, integrate directly with the CRM. So as soon as you send a document and then go to result your appointment, it actually sends those values back to, say, Salesforce or Job Nimbus or MarketSharp, and it will trigger a workflow or a process, right in the home. So your office staff and production staff, they know the results of the sale immediately. A lot of the times, say that you were in the customer's home, your production staff knows the results of the appointment before you've even left the house. There's no need to turn in any paperwork. I have had some conversations with customers where they say their sales staff only come into the office once a week. So imagine that. If you're not receiving the results of an appointment for a whole week, potentially. I know that they generally call in the results, but you're not necessarily getting the details of the job, all of the measurements and specifications, that kind of thing. So Leap kind of eliminates all of that, which is great. As far as remote updates, so document changes are instant. So if you change a clause in your contract, or you need to update a color selection or some other type of item specification, that can be done immediately, and then disseminated to the entire sales team, right away. If you have out of stock items, you may need to add verbiage explaining that there may be a delay ordering a certain product. Another great feature is the ability to require and capture initials and signatures anywhere in a document. You can put them on any line or section of the document. So if you're experiencing any type of delays or cancellations, it only takes a moment to set that up in your document. And you can then instantly require your sales staff to have the initial or sign that section in order to send the document. And again, you can view these updates in the field instantly. So you don't have to chase down old contract versions. A lot of companies using paper can have several versions of their contracts in their staff's hands at any given time. And in addition, many of our customers order their documents in bulk. I've heard they might order, thousands at a time just to save money on a bulk order. And you make one change to a document, now that whole stack of documents you have is now irrelevant. They're outdated. So with Leap, the changes are instant. There is no ordering. Your sales staff has the most up-to-date version at all times. And creating work orders automatically. So just like you saw briefly in that short demo where we were able to create the contract instantly, we can also generate work orders, purchase orders, job cost sheets, invoices. All of that stuff links to the estimate. Whether you have your sales staff doing that or your production staff, I have seen recently a customer that has some of their production staff doing some of the more simpler jobs. But what it does is it reduces the time it takes to production. It reduces the overall ordering time, the installation time. It just saves an incredible amount of time. I just want to read this quote here real quick from Chuck Chettle from HomeSmart Industries. So he says, in the past, when a salesperson went on an appointment, you're not going to see any paperwork until at least the next day, if you're lucky. He might have made a phone call and reported the basic lead result, but you didn't get any details. Now with Leap, we're getting those contracts instantly. So this is sort of what I talked about, where it could take days or even a week to get that kind of paperwork. They might call the result in, but you don't have any of the details. Now with Leap, it's instant. And then 99% error-free. So this sort of ties into what we've already talked about a little bit with restricting things and requiring certain information. Just take a look at this photo here on the right, where they're writing in a handwritten estimate. So, we see this all the time when new customers sign up for Leap, and they're just writing in the entire job description. Not only is it handwritten and could be full of errors or incorrect information, but when you go to write the contract, now you have to rewrite the whole description again. And oftentimes it's really hard to read if the handwriting is not great. So the LEAP estimates and document engine allow you to connect all of these areas. So you build an estimate, as I showed you, it links to your contract, proposal, work order, any other documents you might have. If a customer wants to change something, you don't have to start over from the very beginning. You can simply just modify the estimate in LEAP, and then your changes populate throughout the whole application. So this just really eliminates incorrect orders. Again, say if an item is out of stock, it can quickly be removed from LEAP. You don't have to worry about your documents displaying products that no longer exist. And that is all I have for you guys. So if you have any questions, please let me know. No, end
Awesome. Thanks, Alex.
Sure.
No, you're all good. That was some great information coming through. We actually do have 2 questions that have come through, and feel free for those listening, feel free to drop your questions into that Q&A panel. So the first one that's come through for you, Alex, is do you have any manufacturer partners that can like you can help like upload all of their data into your LEAP instance?
Yes, we have actually quite a few, and that makes things really tremendously easier to do. So, just to name a few, we partner with BCI, HomeGuard, Owens Corning, Softlight, and we do have all of their pricing. We can import into your account, and we have a number of templates we can import as well. And that just makes the onboarding process super simple for those type of things. So if you do need help with that, just reach out to your onboarding rep, or you can contact the support team and we can get you more information.
Fantastic. Okay, and then we've got another question coming in from Mary. Do you have templates for work orders?
Yes, we have templates for work orders, purchase orders, invoices. We have a ton of different templates like that. Again, if you need help with that, just contact support, or if you're in onboarding, contact your onboarding rep and they can help you get those in.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Alex.